So, you have started playing Wixoss. You've found an opponent to play with, and now you're progressing through your first turn. Properly. You enter charge, grow, play 2 level 1 SIGNI, and since you're playing second, you can move into your attack phase. So, in this situation, your best plan is going to be to make 2 attacks here, dealing 1 damage to the opponent and vanishing one of the opposing SIGNI. Right? Not so much. While your damaging attack was a good standard move that you should definitely always take whenever you have the opportunity to, attacking the opposing SIGNI was likely a mistake. This might be counterintuitive, whether you're coming in from another card game or Wixoss is your first trading card game. Your instinct in both of these cases is likely to be to attack the opponent's SIGNI at all opportunities. However, in Wixoss, defeated SIGNI are not outright discarded, but rather they are vanished to the Ener zone. And in Wixoss, it is relatively easy to exchange Ener for more cards. Since it is so easy for players to exchange Ener for new cards, and it's a fairly common feature in most decks, by vanishing a SIGNI, what you're essentially giving the opponent is the option to either recover the lost card by using one of these effects, but if they don't need that card right away, you can instead use that Ener for something else, like an offensive effect or a defensive effect, whatever is most advantageous to them at that moment. Rather than give your opponent more options, it's better to deny them options as much as possible. And, especially in the early stages of the game, the best way to do this is going to be attempting to Ener-starve the opponent. To do this, you only attack and vanish opposing SIGNI when doing so directly threatens the opponent with damage. This will ensure that the opponent is given only the bare minimum of Ener to work with, and will ultimately limit their actions much more effectively than trying to run them out of SIGNI. Ener-starving is an extremely simple strategy. It simply involves not attacking when you're not pushing damage, but there's a ton of considerations and corner cases to keep in mind as the game progresses. For example, as you start to get a feel for what the opponent's deck looks like, you might notice that they don't actually have a ton of these recovery effects, and in that case it can be advantageous to abandon Ener-starving and try to run them out of SIGNI instead. Sometimes, the opponent will play a SIGNI with a powerful, ongoing effect that you simply can't afford to leave in play, and you need to vanish it with an attack, in which case, getting rid of that SIGNI is likely going to be better than letting it stick around. Also, in the Diva format, many of the Life Burst effects are powerful removal effects that only target up to SIGNI, so during large attacks, it can be better to attack with all of your SIGNI, even the ones that are not threatening damage, in order to remove as many of these targets as possible from your board before the opponent starts flipping life cloths. All of these are extremely important considerations, but in the absence of any strong reasons to the contrary, your best default posture is going to be to attempt to Ener-starve the opponent as much as possible.